Hey y'all, this is your girl Natalie, Joseph-Cayemittes. If you haven't already done so, please like, share, and subscribe. That way you could always get the notification when I come on or when I post something. And today I wanted to share with you my story on writing out my first book, Living in the Favor of God. Yes, it's available on Amazon.com and on my website, www.lifecoachforyoullc.com. It's number 4, letter U, Life Coach for You. So anyhow, without further ado, let us get into our content. And today, I just want to share with you about writing. So for me, I wanted to write my book for so long. Ever since I was in high school, I came across projects that I wrote about how I'm going to become the best writer and all that stuff that I forgot about. I save everything, certain memories you save. And as I was digging back, looking back, I'm like, oh, wow, I wrote it down when I was 16. It came to pass when I was 40. Like, wow, it's a long time. It probably could have come to pass a lot sooner. But again, I had to deal with fear. And what I used to do for me, I would go read other people's stuff, go look on Amazon and all that and say, my stuff is not good enough. Meanwhile, I have like rivers, you hear that scripture, rivers of living water. This is me. I have like streams and all that in me ready to come out. But yet I stuck in a place where all I did is compare, saying I'm not good enough. And it took really, when I took an identity class. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but in 2020, I took an identity class at this church, Kingdom Builders International Movement for Christ. My goodness, this is where they sit you down. You go through the class and the process. You learn about the fivefold ministry, which I am a big believer in. It's important for the church to be restored in the fivefold. If you're not yet fivefold, link up with the right people because we need that. Anyway, let me not get off topic. So, and that class, not only I was identified in one of the everything like let's say one of the prophetic word was for me to write a book. And I knew that, because I had my book title from 2013, and I had at my previous job, one of the nurse prophesied to me that I would be writing a book, and I had the title, everything. You see, from 2013, you see when it manifested. 2021, actually, this book came out last year. And I'm saying all this is really because of fear, procrastination. I would start and stop, but I had at least a couple lines written down for over 3 years prior to writing the book. And when I got identified, I decided to challenge myself and really invest in myself and embark on this journey to find out who who I am, what I'm created for, what is God's plan for me. And it started with the identity class. And after that, I decided to jump on a mentorship program. I tell you, people don't believe in mentors. I believe in mentors. And this is crazy. I do mentorship myself. But a lot of time we don't see to invest in ourselves in that particular way, especially spiritually. People don't invest in themselves spiritually. Take the time to really know, because we are more spirit than we are physical. But that's another teaching. I'm not going to go there and confuse anybody. But getting back to this book. So one of the thing my mentor, Apostle G, started keeping me accountable. And this is the other point I want to make. Whatever you're doing, you need accountability. You need to be surrounded by somebody who's going to keep not reminding you, but call you out. So you were supposed to do this, you didn't do it. What's happening? You need that kind of friend. And I think throughout my life, I was always holding others accountable, but finding people that would really hold me accountable the way I wanted to be held was very hard, because people always tell me, oh, you did this, you did this. I don't want to hear about what I already did. I want to know what I'm supposed to do now, how you can keep pushing me to do now. And this is something I used to have a problem, because in me, I felt there were things missing. And when I say missing, I'm not talking versus relationship, children, marital life, and all that stuff, because I have all that down pat. But and who I am called to be, and what I carry, what's in me. You know, not many people at the time could identify that in me. And it's not that I just stumbled in church. I was in church a long time. So this is just to show you how much identity, once you are identified, there's no way you go back. No way, no way, absolutely not. The minute you get a glimpse, you get a reality of who you are, I tell you, nothing will bring you back. Nothing. Even depression cannot hold you back. I go that far because we are human. There are different level of depression. You know, there's time when something don't work out, you get down, you get stressed, you feel a little depressed. I'm not talking about the chronic, but even in that, I'm telling you, there will always be a shift back, because something in you will keep reminding you, do you know who you are? You cannot stay in that state. You got to get up and rise up. So for me, that's that is what kept me going even more. Yes, I was always into entrepreneurship. I was always doing something. I was always on the go, a go-getter, creating and stuff, but not at that level. You understand? So the minute that I joined that mentorship, I say that because mentorship is important, I started writing out the book. And I write, and every time I would go back to my mentor, I'm like, Apostle G, I wrote this amount of word. Is it good enough? She's like, I'll go back some more. Then finally I said to her, okay, give me, this is how my mind works. Give me numbers. How much do you need to keep me going, to keep writing, going back in the process? And it was such an amazing process to actually write out my first book. Mind you, I'm a writer. I have a ton of stuff I've been writing that I haven't published. Is now I'm looking in things that God gave me, because sometimes you know, you when you have things in you you don't understand, you don't have somebody to really explain to you what's happening. You think it's you, you're just crazy, overzealous, or you just want to do things. But this is something I used to hear so bold in my ears. I'm like, God, what should I do? I need that extra break. It's like, right. And then that's another thing. Being identified, I really learned to identify God's voice. I was hearing God my entire life. In our culture, we have something that we say often, you know, something tell me. No, it's not something tell you. It's the Holy Spirit. But side note, so I was hearing God telling me left, right, all along. And it just, now I'm at a place where I listen, I pay attention now. And I acknowledge him in my life. I acknowledge him in me. So I say all this because this book, let me tell you, this is a very prophetic book. And I just write and share things the way they came out. Even I'm like, wait a minute, did I write this? Because as I'm writing, I'm hearing the words flow and I'm just writing. I'm hearing the words and I'm writing. And I'm like, this is crazy. But you know, come to think of it, even in class, when I was doing my bachelor's, the same thing. Whatever homework I'm doing, this the process for me. I have to get me in that zone, and then I could hear everything I'm writing. But you know, you never know. This is like a talent, a gift, whatever you want to call it. This is something you are called to. So I'm sharing all this not to just talk, especially about me or showing me off. No, it's nothing like that. You know who you are. You are sitting and you're like, oh my goodness, yes, that's true. I write and people always tell me I write so beautiful. As a matter of fact, I write and do homework for people, because I used to do that. I did a lot of homework for different people, you know, and I'd be like, God, you know, I could do this for people. Why don't I do it for myself? Or I could look at something and edit it, and, you know, creativity and all that stuff. But I never understood, especially being Caribbean. I'm going to tell you, I'm from Haiti. In our culture, this is the main thing we acknowledge: the doctors, the lawyers, the nurse, you know, the engineer, those high career paths. So here I was going in the medical field at the time. So, and I'm like, geez, I love being in the medical field. I was a nursing assistant to start. I work with children with special needs for 16 years, and I loved it and I was good at it. But I was also the person, while I loved it, I helped out in this, I helped out in this. So the RN would be like, you should be a nurse. Then the RT, respiratory therapist, would be like, you should be a respiratory therapist. You saw this. Everybody see those different side of me that I should be. But what really is that some people are multidimensional. And then deep inside, I'm like, but God, I love nursing, but I love business. And you want to hear the crazy thing? I started out going for my nursing, my RN license. I started out taking class. I ended up taking a twist doing a business degree, a bachelor's degree. And now there's no mistake, because the step of the just are ordered by the Lord. So I know this was divinely. And I'm like, God, this don't match. I'm working here and I'm in business there. And while I'm in business there, I was part of Mary Kay, and I was really good at it. Mary Kay, I met people, I went on the trip, different type of trips. I was on blaze, I was on fire. I did wealth trade, global wealth trade. That was very shortly process for me, and different other things. Oh my goodness, I did so many things that I have to really sit and recollect all the stuff that I did. But I was always into business, creating something, ideas, internet marketing. I was always doing it. But I'm in nursing. And it was tough, because in our community, most people, they are nurses. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing nurses. This is a very rewarding job, and it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of love. You can't do it for the money, or you're not gonna treat the people right, because that's another side note. So it's not about bashing. No. I love what I did. If I have the opportunity to do it, I would do it, but really for more money. But that's another side note. Anywho, so I couldn't understand why I was feeling this way. Is when I took that identity class, knowing who I am, I realized there are many sides to me. And this is beautiful to know that you could serve God. You could be cool. You could be a mom. You could be a wife. You could be an employee. You could also be a business owner. You can be a writer. Yes. And you can be out there making t-shirt like me. I started doing t-shirt on Teespring. You could be making journals. Oh, I make beautiful journals. I make blank books. I also have a line of beard oil, and there's so much more coming. But before, I was placed in a box, like, okay, nursing, this is it, nursing. You just work, and that's it. But inside, there was a big part of me dying, because as I'm venturing out different things, and I'm like, no, I know there's more. And identity helped me. That identity class helped me. That mentorship really helped me. I believe in mentorship. And it's funny, I took mentorship for other things, but never on a personal level, never on a spiritual level. It's like you go to the doctor for your body, but the mind, we need to nurture the mind. We need to care for the mind. We need our emotional beings is important. As our health is important, it is the spiritual that transcribe to the natural, that manifests in our body, that stuff. So we have to care for it as much. And it's not just about health, but for me, it entails like giving birth to the very idea, the very thing. And it's a beautiful journey. It's like, you'll be in time with God. He's like, do this. I mean, I have books filled with things he's showing me. And guess what? You too can hear God. You too can have that experience. You too can be identified. Wherever you are, just have that desire, that passion. Say, God, who am I? Show me. Come into my life. Be my Lord and Savior. Like really believe, because it's not just about the word. Yes, you confess with your mouth that, Jesus is Lord. But if the heart is not in it, if the heart don't believe it, it's just lip service to begin with. So confess in your mouth, believe in your heart, ask God wherever you are, and, just, tell him, look, this lady is crazy talking about all this thing. I want to experience that for myself. And then there are people available to help. I'm one of those people. And my new calling, I was always about helping people, but now it's on a greater scale. Can you imagine if the little kids, from the time they're like 3, 4, 5, they know who they're supposed to be. They know who they called to be. They're in class empowered. They ain't got time to bully other kids because they have low self-esteem and all those things, because they know who they are. They know who they are because they know who they are. They know they're powerful. They know they have all this. So when they go to school, what you think they're gonna do? Reach out to another student, help another student, and they continue as a domino effect. People get strengthened, people get built, people are creating. This is how you come out of poverty. I never understood church in the real world before, because there wasn't a true balance when I was in the church setting. I'm still in the church setting. Let me rephrase that, because they might be like, oh, no, I didn't shift. But as I transitioned to the fivefold, that's a better way to put it, I realized, like, it's not about religion. Oh boy, I was very religious. Oh God, help me. Thank you for forgiveness. Woo! I was religious. That's another side story. It's not about religion, but really, it's not just about you coming to church. No, God lives in you, through the Holy Spirit. And while he's in you, the best way to glorify him is to do everything he called you to do. So imagine he calls you to be a doctor and you are here trying to be a mechanic. Meanwhile, there are people, when you operate on them, they get healed, not only physically, spiritually, there's a whole lot of stuff attached to them, but you are here trying to do mechanic. You fix up people's car, you either do it right or do half job. You're not happy because you're supposed to be a doctor. What are you doing here? But if we don't know who we are, if we're not identified, how can we please God? This worldly system teach you, as long you become this, you become that, you're making money, but that's not it. Yes, you're going to be prosperous. Money is important. Don't get me wrong. You need money for everything. But being in the right calling, being in the place where you're supposed to be, this is success. I could spend all my life being a nurse. Not that it's not honorable, but if I neglect everything God placed in me, I neglect the writer. I'm on my 3rd book, y'all. I'm on my 3rd book. Very soon I'll have the I guess broadcast commercial, advertising on the 2 other books coming. And then I have a list of books. I mean, it's exciting. I'm in my chair. I'm like, okay, God, okay. Help me unpack this. Help me share with the world. And all this happened because I was identified, because I allow myself, to be birthed out. Yes, God want to birth us out, but it takes us to submit. It takes us to say, yes, I need help. And I wasn't ashamed. I wasn't afraid to say there's certain thing I didn't know. There's certain thing that I was hearing that I didn't understand, that I had a prophetic side to me. I didn't understand that I'm an evangelist. I didn't understand all those things, but I knew I was always ready to share. And I always said, the way people are talking about God, that's not it. But how can you talk about something you never seen? And that was the case for me. I'm always telling people about, I'm looking at certain thing in church, and I'm like, this is not it, God. There gotta be more. This is not it. But I don't know the it. I just know what I was seeing wasn't it, but I didn't know what was that it until I became identified. I started flocking with you. You know how they tell you, birds of a feathers flock together. I started, flocking with my own kind. I was liberated. I no longer needed to be religious. I no longer needed to feel, if I didn't pray at this time for this amount of hours, that I wasn't persevering. But I learned as I'm doing the dishes, which I always did, a song pop up in me, and I burst that song out that I was worshiping. I was in the presence. As I'm, sweeping my floor, I'm still able to be in the presence. Yes, quiet time, prayer time is important, but we pray all time. We pray all kind of prayers. We're not limited to that. Today, you have to do it at 4. 4 is 4 every morning. God forbid if you forget the 4, you start feeling condemned. Jesus died so that we didn't feel condemned. We're not under that law where we're being judged by each. No. I have freedom. And I tell you, people, I'm willing to share this freedom with anybody who wants to hear it, who wants to be free. I have freedom. And it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful to walk in that freedom, to walk in that peace. It's beautiful to know that I'm not condemned, not to be at a place where people all day tell you how much if you sin, you're going to hell, but to really tell you the love of God. Because if telling us how much we're going to hell save people, then why they keep sinning? Why didn't they just turn around? But when I start hearing that I have a God that loves, I have a God that keep picking me up, telling me, try again, do it again. You don't have to stay there. You are better than that. I just want to do things to please him. I just want to be my best me, because I know when I am me, people are transformed. When I am me, people get to see him. When I am the best me, people get to see his love. I'm learning to love the way he loves. I'm learning to give the way he gives. I am learning, and I know he's glorified every time I open my mouth, because this is how I let him out. This is why I show the world who God is. Not by hating, not by bashing, not by coming against this pastor, that pastor's wrong. No, no, no. But every time that I speak the word, every time that I share his love, every time that I speak his heart, lives are transformed. People want to know who's that God. And I tell you, people, I don't know how I got in this. I started talking out my book, but really, this is my testimony. I have so many. I could keep you here all day, but I won't do that. I just want to share with you. My goodness, there's something about being identified. There's something about knowing who you are. There's something about saying yes. Now I'm at the point in my life, okay, God, whatever. Okay, whatever, even if it's uncomfortable, even this time you fall, the righteous man falls down 7 times, but get up always. However, I'm not quoting word to word from word, but what I'm saying that we're not perfect. God knows we're not perfect, but guess what? This is why Jesus died on the cross for us. He takes our imperfection. We are made perfect through Christ. Yes, I have my flaws, my shortcoming. And guess what? I embrace all of them. I embrace them because I know I'm made perfect through Christ. Let me tell you, I have this prayer I do in the morning on Facebook. I just started in February. It's been amazing, but at the same time, there are time I stumble. There are time I stumble with just waking up, because sometimes I sleep so late, or I wake up 1, 2, I'm up, and then by the time I fall asleep. But guess what? I'm not condemning myself. I keep rising up. I keep doing it. You know what? I'm gonna do it until I get it right. And there'll be a time where it can be that set time all the time, because I still gotta shift. And this is what I have to learn about the apostleship. You have to be willing to shift. It's not always it's done this way and this is set in stone. No, at a moment notice, you gotta be able to turn here, turn there, adjust here, adjust there, whatever it takes. And this is how I'm able to do this with you. I miss my broadcast, and I'm like, God, how are they gonna go? I said, you know what? Let me do a recording. Let me share something, because at the end of the day, we keep getting up, we keep going on. I'm not gonna sit there being condemned. I'm not gonna allow the enemy reminding me, oh, you were supposed to do this, you didn't do it. What kind of this are you? What kind of that are you? No, no, no. Shut up, shut up. Let God be glorified through me. Let somebody else be blessed. I will record something and share it. Yes, somebody will hear this and be excited. If you don't know who you are, oh Lord, connect with me, inbox me. My information is below. I can help. If I can't directly help, I will lead you to the right people. But I tell you, it's the beginning of a beautiful journey to know who you are. And I think we see a lot of confusion in our youth, because they don't know who they are. When you know who you are, you cannot fall for anything. When you have identity, you cannot pick anything, because you know who you are. It's like knowing you want to be a doctor, but hanging out with another crew. No, doctors, they hang around together, so they learn the language, they learn the script, they grow. You don't go hang out with this and then you trying to study this. It's pulling you different places. I know that's probably a poor example. Yeah, but anywho, it's important to know who you are, I tell you. And this start with me. And I took this class. I never forget one of the instructor, Apostle Blaze, she says, first of all, people that's been writing all their life are not really interested in your book so much. Don't worry about that. You have your own audience. You have your own people that will understand, that will hear when you speak. So this is it. And I tell you, this is not because it's my book. This is an amazing book. I get your copy. It's on Kindle, I believe. Yeah, it's on Kindle. Just get your copy, have an experience, have an encounter, and then don't think it's gonna be about behold. No, 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 no. It's real life testimonies, real life story, my story that I put out there, and comparing it, in devotional. It's a 21-day devotional for you to do, but it's something tangible. It's not somebody talking way high that you like you can never measure to know. I'm a normal, regular person, as normal as you can get, Caribbean, if you want to go there. Uh, can I say dual citizenship? Because I was born in Haiti and I'm a citizen in America. Yeah, however, accent, English being my second language. What else? What else? So, and all those different things that sometimes could be a barrier, and here I am. What about you? What about you? You can do this. I'm telling you, you can do this. Write that book. Write that book. Put out that story. I know you went through some traumatic past, some people hurt you and all this, but somehow you overcome. But you didn't overcome it by yourself, you know that. Whether you believe in God or not, you didn't overcome everything by yourself. Yeah, you're strong. Yes, you're strong. But your strength is not just from you alone. And that strength, you need to share it. Share it with somebody else. Prevent somebody from experiencing that relationship. Prevent somebody to make that decision that landed you in jail. Prevent somebody from committing that murder or whatever. Prevent somebody from hanging with the wrong crowd. Save someone. Yes, your story will save someone. Even if you save one person, that is well done. Because God cares so much about people's soul, so much about his children. Even if it is one person you're able to break through, you have done it well. So I tell you, write. And it doesn't have to be a big book. It could be a poem, maybe. This is how you express yourself. It could be a play, a book, however, but get it out. Write it, write it, write it. No more, people dying with all their gifts, and then generation is stuck because they were supposed to produce something that would help move the next generation. Now somebody else got to be raised up to do it because they didn't do their part. It's time we play our part in this universe, play our part. Everybody, birth out what you got in you. You've been pregnant for a while. It's time to push that baby out. Let it out. I'm telling you, let it out, people. Let it out. Young girl, you're not too young. Yes, you have some big dream. Yes, you may be not at the best place, especially financially. If parents are struggling, you may wonder how I'm from that. How am I gonna do it? I tell you, you can. You can start by writing things down. Write the vision, write the dream, whatever it is, whatever you think your life should look like. Write it. You don't have to share it with people. Write your stuff. Write your stuff. Just write them down. Don't keep it in your head. In your head, it's an imagination. When you start writing it down, now you're starting to create. So in your head, it's an imagination. Write it down. Write it down. And as you write it down, speak it out loud. Wait in your quiet time when everybody's out of your way. Go in front of the mirror and start talking. Start talking everything you want. Start talking. And you'll be surprised. Listen, testimony time again. I've been prophesying my life since I was a teenager and did not know that's what I was doing. I prophesied where I was going to live, all that stuff. But at the time, what did 19, 20-year-old girl know? I was just talking. At least that's what I thought I was doing. So words have power. Mind the words that come out of your mouth. Even if you don't feel good, even if things aren't working out, don't speak it. If you're in prayer, that's a different thing. You're talking to God, but don't speak. Oh, my life will never be. It's always you will get what you say. So don't speak it. So I'm very careful with my word. Even if I'm angry with my children, I would not speak. I rather not speak until I'm better to deal with the situation, because I would not curse my own blood, and I don't speak over people. I don't speak over people's kid. I may see things, but I would not speak negativity over anyone, because I know the power of words. So words. This book is here because of a word. I was prophesied that I was gonna write this book in 2013. Years go by, I procrastinate. Finally, in 2016, I wrote 2 lines. True story, people. I wrote a full sentence and I saved it on a flash drive. And it took, when I met Apostle G, apostles have that ability to really stir you up, push you out, raise you up. So it was when I met her that word was spoken again. The word came to life. And then not only that, I embarked her mentorship program, and here I am, you know so, and that strengthened me as a life coach, because now I understand how to raise others even better. And I didn't just, join the mentorship. Every time there's a awareness, there's a class to build me up even more, I'm in there, because I want to keep learning. I want to keep growing. That way, as I pour out, the people that's going to be raised will also be learning, growing. They will be strengthened, because this is not just for me. This is for my generation, my children, and whoever decide to, tap in, because I may not be the best fit for everyone, and that's okay. But I'm here to help. So anyway, we done got to a lot of places. I don't know how we got there, but God bless. I appreciate you for listening. I appreciate. Hope you have taken in something today. Hope some words resonate with your spirit. And again, God bless. Enjoy your day. You may have to listen again to really grasp the full picture, but I tell you, take action now. Start writing. And you know something, if you need help, reach out. And I'm also gonna put out my it's a quick read on writing for the busy mom, because sometimes it's not always it's not always on how people give you, you do it this way, you do it that way. No. So this is something that I wrote, so it should be coming out shortly again. And just to share, not to brag, because of this prophecy, this word and identity, I'm on my 3rd book, going on 4th. Very soon you'll see the